Idoperia, Hapan, isolation, and honor. Tonight, we're traveling back to a time when simply surviving a single day required more strength than most of us will ever need. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and let me tell you about lives so difficult they'll make your own troubles seem beautifully simple. Welcome to Boring History for Sleep. The Samurai's Burden. You are Matsudra Nobumasa, a middle-ranking samurai in Edo. In the year 1750, during the height of the Tokugawa shogunate's peaceful reign, 2 centuries of enforced peace have transformed your warrior class from battlefield purists into bureaucratic administrators, creating an identity crisis that defines every aspect of your daily existence. In a world where your ancestors' skills are no longer needed, the morning begins in your modest residence within the samurai district of Edo, a city of over 1 million people that has become the largest urban center in the world. Through a combination of political necessity and economic prosperity, built on rigid social control and complete isolation from foreign influence. Your house reflects your diminished status in Tokugawa society, smaller than your grandfather's estate, simpler than traditional samurai architecture, and carefully maintained despite limited financial resources that force you to choose between maintaining appearances and meeting basic family needs in an economy designed to keep warriors dependent on government stipends. The daily routine of dressing in formal hakama and carrying the 2 swords that mark your social position has become a performance of relevance, rather than practical preparation for combat. Because the Pox Tokugawa has eliminated warfare while preserving the symbols and ceremonies that justify samurai. Privilege in a society reorganized around peace. Your morning practice with katana and wakizashi continues traditions that once meant life or death, but now serve primarily as physical exercise and spiritual discipline, maintaining connection to warrior identity while acknowledging that sword skills have no practical application in a world where violence is prohibited by law. The walk through Edo's carefully planned streets reveals the shogunate's success in creating urban order through comprehensive social engineering, wide avenues that prevent riots, neighborhood groups that monitor residents, and architectural standards that reflect government priorities rather than individual preferences. Your destination is the administrative office where you perform clerical duties that would have horrified warrior ancestors who valued martial prowess above all else. But these bureaucratic tasks provide the stipend that sustains your family while demonstrating loyalty to the Tokugawa system that has redefined samurai purpose. The paperwork that consumes your day involves record keeping, tax collection, and legal proceedings that maintain the complex regulatory framework governing every aspect of Japanese life. From business licenses to marriage permissions to travel documents required for movement between domains. That the irony of your situation is constantly present. You carry swords to demonstrate your warrior status, while performing work that requires literacy and mathematical skills rather than combat training. Serving a government that maintains power through the elimination of everything that once made samurai socially valuable. Your colleagues in the administrative office include other samurai who share your ambivalence about their transformed role. Men who inherited warrior identity but practice bureaucratic skills, maintaining family honor through service that bears no resemblance to the military leadership that originally justified samurai privilege. The stipend system that supports samurai families has created economic dependency that undermines traditional autonomy while preserving social hierarchy. Because warrior families receive government payments in exchange for loyalty but cannot engage in commercial activities that might provide alternative income, the financial constraints that affect most samurai families during this period force difficult choices between maintaining social appearances and achieving economic security. Because the fixed stipends cannot keep pace with inflation, while samurai are prohibited from engaging in merchant activities. Your lunch consists of rice, vegetables, and occasionally fish. Simple food that reflects both economic limitations and cultural values, emphasizing frugality and self-discipline as virtues that distinguish samurai from merchant classes that prioritize material prosperity over spiritual development. The afternoon brings legal consultations where your education and social status qualify you to advise merchants and farmers about regulations that govern their activities, creating relationships that blur traditional class boundaries while maintaining the fiction that samurai serve as moral leaders. The complexity of Tokugawa law requires expertise that only educated samurai can provide, giving your class practical value in society while transforming warrior identity from military leadership to legal scholarship. A change that preserves privilege while fundamentally altering its justification. The interactions with merchants reveal the economic realities that challenge traditional social hierarchy. These legally inferior business people often possess greater wealth than samurai families, creating tension between official status and practical power that characterizes much of Edo period social organization. Your evening duties include supervising neighborhood security arrangements that maintain order through community cooperation rather than military force, demonstrating how Tokugawa administration has replaced warrior violence with civilian cooperation as the foundation of social stability. The reports that you file about neighborhood activities contribute to the information systems that enable government surveillance of the entire population, making every samurai an agent of state control, while obscuring the fact that this surveillance prevents the military action that once defined warrior purpose. Your return home brings family responsibilities that reflect changing gender roles and domestic arrangements, because 2 centuries of peace have allowed more attention to civilian concerns like education, cultural development, and family relationships that were secondary during periods of constant warfare. The children's education that you supervise includes classical Chinese literature, Japanese poetry, mathematics, and calligraphy, skills that prepare them for administrative careers rather than military service while maintaining cultural traditions that distinguish educated families from common people. Your wife's activities include household management, cultural pursuits like tea ceremony and flower arrangement, pan-social relationships with other samurai families that maintain class solidarity while adapting to economic constraints that affect traditional lifestyle expectations. The evening meditation includes philosophical reflection on duty, honor, and identity in a society that has eliminated the circumstances that originally defined these concepts, creating intellectual challenges that reflect broader cultural tensions about tradition and adaptation in a peaceful world. This daily existence represents the fundamental contradiction of Edo period samurai life, maintaining warrior identity in a society that has eliminated the need for warriors, preserving traditional values in circumstances that make those values largely irrelevant, and finding meaning in service that bears little resemblance to the military glory that once justified social privilege. The merchants rise. In the same Edo where samurai struggle with irrelevance, you are Mitsui Takahira, a rice merchant, whose family has transformed from humble traders into one of the city's wealthiest commercial dynasties, demonstrating how Tokugawa peace has created opportunities for economic advancement that challenge traditional social hierarchy while remaining officially invisible. Your day begins before dawn in the family compound that occupies an entire city block in Edo's merchant quarter, a complex of warehouses, residences, and offices that processes thousands of tons of rice annually while employing hundreds of workers. In operations that span multiple domains throughout Japan, the morning ritual of reviewing account books reveals the scope of your family's commercial empire. Rice purchases from dozens of rural domains, storage facilities in major cities, transportation contracts with shipping companies, and credit arrangements with samurai families who depend on merchant loans to maintain their official lifestyle. Your clothing reflects the complex social negotiations required for merchant success in Tokugawa society. Expensive fabrics that demonstrate wealth while avoiding colors and styles reserved for higher social classes, creating an appearance that balances commercial success with legal humility and political discretion. The breakfast served in your private dining room includes delicacies imported from throughout Japan, foods that would be impossible for samurai families to afford but must be consumed discreetly to avoid accusations of inappropriate luxury that might trigger government intervention or social resentment. The walk through your warehouse district reveals the commercial infrastructure that supports Edo's population. Massive storage facilities for rice and other commodities, transportation networks that connect rural production with urban consumption, and financial systems that enable trade across the archipelago. Your first business meeting involves negotiations with domain officials who need to convert rice tax payments into cash for government operations. Transactions that give merchants significant influence over public finance while maintaining the illegal fiction that business people serve rather than control governmental interests. The complexity of these arrangements requires sophisticated understanding of regional economic conditions, seasonal price variations, transportation costs, and political factors that affect trade policies, knowledge that makes successful merchants more important to government operations than most officials acknowledge. Your office overlooks Edo Bay, where ships arrive daily with cargo from throughout Japan and occasionally from Chinese and Dutch traders who are permitted limited access to Japanese markets under carefully controlled conditions that prevent foreign influence while allowing beneficial commercial exchange. The ledgers that record your transactions document the transformation of Japanese economy during 2 centuries of peace, increased agricultural productivity, expanded manufacturing, improved transportation, and sophisticated financial instruments that enable commerce on scales impossible during periods of constant warfare. Your relationship with samurai customers requires careful management of social etiquette that acknowledges their official superiority while conducting business relationships that reveal their economic dependence, creating interactions that preserve traditional hierarchy while inverting actual power relationships. The loans that you provide to samurai families are secured by stipend assignments that guarantee repayment, but also create long-term financial relationships that give merchants indirect control over warrior-class economic activities, undermining traditional autonomy while maintaining surface respect. Your membership in merchant guilds provides access to information networks that span the entire country, enabling coordination of commercial activities across domain boundaries, while creating informal power structures that influence government policy through economic rather than political channels. The afternoon brings visits to rural suppliers who provide the agricultural products that sustain urban populations, relationships that connect you to farming communities while demonstrating how commercial development has created national economic integration despite political fragmentation into hundreds of domains. Your travels through the countryside reveal the prosperity that Tokugawa peace has brought to rural Japan: improved agricultural techniques, expanded cultivated area, better infrastructure, and rural industries that supplement farming income while providing goods for urban markets. The evening entertainment that you sponsor for business associates and government officials takes place in pleasure quarters, where social rules are relaxed and political discussions can occur in informal settings that facilitate the relationship building essential for commercial success. Your family's cultural activities include sponsorship of artistic performances, literary events, and religious ceremonies that demonstrate social responsibility while building networks of obligation and gratitude that serve commercial and political purposes in society, where personal relationships determine business opportunities. The educational investments that you make in your children's development include classical learning that qualifies them for social advancement, practical training that prepares them for business leadership, and cultural accomplishments that enable interaction with higher social classes. Your wife's responsibilities include managing household staff, organizing social events, and maintaining relationships with other merchant families that create alliances, supporting mutual business interests while adapting traditional gender roles to commercial family needs and urban social requirements. The late-night planning sessions that conclude your day involve strategic discussions about market trends, investment opportunities, and political developments that might affect business operations. Conversations that reveal how merchant families have become sophisticated analysts of political and economic conditions. This merchant existence demonstrates how Tokugawa peace has created space for economic development that challenges traditional social organization, while operating within legal frameworks that preserves surface conformity to established hierarchy and cultural values while enabling practical power relationships. The pleasure quarters. Beyond the rigid social controls that govern most of Edo lies the Yoshiwara, a licensed pleasure quarter where normal rules are suspended and social hierarchies dissolve into a parallel world of entertainment, commerce, unhuman relationships that exist outside the moral framework that defines respectable society. You are Tamajiku, a courtesan of the highest rank within this enclosed world, possessing artistic skills, intellectual accomplishments, and social graces that make you more educated and culturally sophisticated than most samurai wives, while inhabiting a legal status that places you outside normal social categories. Put your quarters within the most prestigious house in Yoshiwara. Reflect the economic value of your services. Silk furnishings, valuable artwork, rare books, and musical instruments that create an environment of luxury that surpasses what most government officials experience in their private residences. The morning routine that prepares you for evening entertainment includes hours of personal grooming, costume selection, and artistic practice that maintains the illusion of effortless sophistication while requiring disciplined attention to details that create the fantasy experiences that wealthy clients purchase. Your education encompasses classical poetry, music, dance, conversation, and philosophical knowledge that enables you to provide intellectual companionship as well as physical pleasure, creating relationships that often last for years and involve genuine emotional connections despite their commercial foundation. The clients who seek your company include successful merchants, government officials, visiting domain lords, and occasionally foreign representatives who are permitted access to this controlled environment where international contact can occur without threatening national isolation policies. Your interactions with these men reveal the social tensions and personal frustrations that characterize Edo period society. Samurai struggling with irrelevance, merchants constrained by social discrimination, and officials burdened by responsibilities that offer little personal satisfaction or authentic human connection. The conversations that fill evening hours often focus on poetry, philosophy, politics, and personal concerns that clients cannot discuss in their normal social environments, making pleasure quarters spaces for intellectual and emotional expression that rigid society otherwise prohibits. Your relationship with the house owner who manages your career involves complex negotiations about scheduling, fees, and career development. Balance your artistic autonomy with commercial requirements, creating business relationships that protect your interests while maximizing profit for investors. The artistic performances that you provide include traditional music, dance, and poetry recitation that preserve cultural traditions while adapting them to commercial entertainment purposes, demonstrating how artistic culture survives and evolves through market mechanisms rather than elite patronage. Your involvement in literary circles that meet in Yoshiwara connects you to poets, writers, and intellectuals who find in pleasure quarters the freedom to explore ideas and express creativity that might be censored or discouraged in respectable society. The festival seasons that bring increased business to Yoshiwara also create opportunities for artistic collaboration, public performances, and cultural events that contribute to Edo's reputation as a center of sophisticated urban culture that rivals any city in the world. Your financial arrangements include personal savings, investments in artistic training, and contributions to retirement funds that will support you when age reduces your commercial value, demonstrating practical planning that ensures security despite the temporary nature of courtesan careers. The relationships that you maintain with other women in the house create professional cooperation and personal friendship networks that provide emotional support while facilitating career advancement through shared knowledge and mutual assistance in navigating complex social challenges. Your interactions with apprentice courtesans involve teaching skills, sharing knowledge, and providing guidance that helps younger women navigate the complex social and business challenges of careers that require intelligence, artistic ability, and emotional resilience. The seasonal clothing changes that mark calendar transitions involve elaborate costume selection and artistic coordination that create visual spectacles for clients, while demonstrating mastery of aesthetic principles that define elite cultural taste and artistic sophistication. Your private moments include personal reading, artistic practice, and meditation that maintain intellectual development and emotional balance, despite the demands of constantly performing. Sophisticated entertainment for demanding clientele who expect perfection in every interaction. The economic impact of your career extends beyond personal income to include support for silk merchants, artisans, musicians, and other service providers whose livelihoods depend on the commercial success of Pleasure Quarter, entertainment, and urban cultural economy. Your awareness of political developments and social changes comes through conversations with clients who discuss government policies, economic conditions, and cultural trends, making you better informed about national affairs than most women in respectable society. This courtesan existence represents the sophisticated urban culture that Tokugawa Peace has made possible, while illustrating how commercial entertainment creates spaces for human relationships and cultural development that operate outside traditional social constraints and official moral frameworks. The village headman far from Edo's urban complexity. You are Tanaka Kaibai, headman of a farming village in Musashi Province, responsible for managing the agricultural community that produces the rice tax, supporting the entire Tokugawa system, while navigating the competing demands of government officials, local lords, and farming families. Your day begins before sunrise in the two-story wooden house that serves as both family residence and village administrative center, checking weather conditions that will determine work schedules, irrigation needs, and the countless decisions required to coordinate agricultural production involving 300 families. The morning inspection of rice fields reveals the results of centuries of agricultural improvement. Terraced hillsides that maximize cultivation area, sophisticated irrigation systems that distribute water efficiently, and soil management techniques that maintain productivity despite intensive farming practices. Your responsibilities include tax collection that transforms agricultural production into government revenue, requiring detailed knowledge of farming conditions, household resources, and political requirements that must be balanced against community welfare and family survival. Needs the village records that you maintained. Document every aspect of rural life. Population changes, land transfers, crop yields, tax payments, and legal disputes, creating administrative systems that enable government control while preserving community autonomy in daily affairs. Your interactions with domain officials require diplomatic skills that protect village interests while demonstrating loyalty to political authorities. Conversations that balance honest reporting about local conditions with careful presentation that avoids triggering government intervention or punishment. The agricultural techniques that you supervise include crop rotation systems, fertilizer application, seed selection, and harvesting methods that reflect generations of accumulated knowledge about maximizing productivity, while maintaining soil fertility and environmental sustainability. Your role in resolving disputes between farming families involves understanding traditional customs, applying government regulations, and finding solutions that preserve community harmony, while respecting legal requirements and maintaining social hierarchy. The seasonal festivals that you organize serve religious, social, and economic purposes, thanking gods for good harvests, strengthening community bonds, and creating opportunities for trade and information, exchange with neighboring villages and traveling merchants. Your involvement in regional administrative meetings provides access to information about government policies, economic conditions, and political developments that affect rural communities, while creating networks of cooperation between village leaders across domain boundaries. That the education that you provide for your children includes literacy skills needed for administrative work, practical knowledge about farming and rural crafts, and cultural training that maintains traditional values while preparing them for changing social conditions. Your relationship with the village temple involves supporting religious activities, that provides spiritual guidance for community members while maintaining institutions that preserve cultural traditions and provide social services for families in need. The management of common resources like forests, irrigation systems, and grazing areas requires cooperation between families with competing interests, creating governance systems that balance individual needs with collective welfare through traditional consensus-building. Your oversight of rural industries that supplement agricultural income includes textile production, sake brewing, and craft manufacturing that provide additional revenue for farming families, while contributing to regional economic development and commercial networks. The trade relationships that you facilitate between your village and urban markets involve transportation, quality control, and price negotiations that connect rural production with commercial distribution systems, spanning multiple provinces and urban centers. Your involvement in disaster preparedness includes maintaining emergency food supplies, organizing mutual aid systems, and developing response plans for floods, droughts, earthquakes, and other natural disasters that threaten rural communities regularly. The marriage arrangements that you help coordinate between village families serve social, economic, and political purposes, strengthening community bonds, improving family economic prospects, and maintaining demographic stability that supports agricultural productivity. Your participation in domain-wide administrative systems requires travel to regional centers for meetings, training, and reporting that connect local governance with provincial and national political structures, while maintaining village autonomy. The tax negotiation process that occurs annually involves presenting village conditions to domain officials while advocating for reasonable assessment that considers local circumstances, weather conditions, and community welfare without compromising loyalty or administrative compliance. Your evening duties include reviewing daily reports from village sections, planning next day's activities, and conducting family business that maintains household prosperity while serving community. Leadership responsibilities that require constant availability. This village leadership role demonstrates how Tokugawa administration depends on effective local governance that maintains agricultural productivity while preserving social stability. Through traditional institutions adapted to serve governmental requirements and community needs. The forbidden Christian in a hidden corner of a Kyushu fishing village. You are Maria Takeshi, one of the secret Christians who continue practicing forbidden faith despite 2 centuries of persecution that has driven believers underground, while creating communities of exceptional devotion and remarkable survival strategies. Your daily existence requires constant vigilance to avoid detection by government agents who monitor communities for signs of Christian activity, using traditional religious observances as cover for prohibited beliefs while maintaining faith. That has sustained your family through 6 generations of oppression. The morning prayers that you offer in the privacy of your home use Buddhist terminology and Shinto symbolism to disguise Christian devotions, creating syncretic religious practices that preserve essential beliefs. while adapting to political circumstances that make open worship impossible. Your participation in official religious ceremonies requires careful performance of Buddhist and Shinto rituals that demonstrate orthodox belief while mentally maintaining Christians. Interpretations that allow you to satisfy legal requirements without compromising private faith or family traditions. The fishing boat that provides your livelihood also serves as meeting place for other hidden Christians who use work activities as opportunities for private religious discussions and mutual spiritual support that maintains community bonds despite legal prohibition and social isolation. Your knowledge of Christian doctrine comes from carefully preserved manuscripts that have been copied and hidden through generations of believers who risk death to maintain access to religious teachings that government policies have attempted to eliminate completely. The religious symbols that you preserve include crosses disguised as Buddhist objects, Christian prayers adapted to sound like Buddhist chants, and sacred images that appear to depict conventional religious figures while representing Christian saints and holy persons. Cue marriage to another secret Christian-created household, where faith can be practiced privately, while children learn to maintain public orthodoxy and private belief, requiring educational strategies that protect family members, while preserving religious tradition and community connection. The network of hidden Christians that spans multiple villages provides mutual support, shares religious knowledge, and maintains communication. Systems that enable coordination of religious activities while avoiding government detection and informant networks. Your participation in traditional festivals includes secret observances that celebrate Christian holy days, using timing and symbols that correspond to official celebrations, while serving different spiritual purposes for believers who understand hidden meanings and alternative interpretations. The trade relationships that connect your village with other communities provide opportunities for religious communication and spiritual support that maintains hidden Christian networks across regional boundaries, despite government surveillance and travel restrictions. Your medical knowledge includes traditional healing techniques combined with Christian prayer practices that provide health care for community members while demonstrating religious commitment through service to others and practical application of spiritual beliefs. The agricultural work that supplements fishing income provides additional opportunities for community interaction and religious discussion among believers who use shared labor as occasions for spiritual fellowship and mutual encouragement during difficult periods. Your involvement in village governance requires careful balance between community responsibility and religious discretion, participating in local administration, while avoiding activities that might compromise faith or expose other believers to government investigation. The education that you provide for your children includes traditional skills and cultural knowledge combined with secret Christian teaching that prepares them to maintain faith while navigating social requirements of life in Orthodox society. For your relationship with sympathetic Buddhist monks who secretly support Christian communities demonstrates religious tolerance that exists despite official persecution. creating alliances that provide protection and spiritual guidance from unexpected sources. The funeral practices that you observe combine Christian beliefs about afterlife with Buddhist ceremonies that satisfy legal requirements while providing spiritual comfort for believers who face death with faith in resurrection and eternal salvation. Your participation in pilgrimages to Buddhist temples includes private Christian prayers offered at sacred sites, while maintaining appearance of orthodox religious devotion that satisfies government expectations and community social requirements. The seasonal religious calendar that you follow includes Christian observances disguised as traditional celebrations, creating opportunities for community worship that preserves faith while avoiding detection by authorities who monitor religious activities carefully. This hidden Christian existence illustrates the power of religious faith to survive systematic persecution while demonstrating how communities adapt to oppressive circumstances through creativity, cooperation, and unwavering commitment to spiritual values that transcend political control. The Erangakau scholar in the intellectual underground of Edo period Japan. You are Hiroga Janai, a scholar of Dutch learning who studies Western science and medicine despite government restrictions on foreign knowledge, pursuing dangerous research that could advance human understanding while risking career, reputation, and personal safety. Your private study contains the most dangerous books in Japan, Dutch medical texts, European scientific treatises, and maps of the outside world that reveal the scope of human knowledge that isolation policies have kept from Japanese society for over 2 centuries. The morning routine that prepares you for scholarly work includes checking security measures that protect your library from discovery, because possession of foreign books can result in imprisonment, exile, or execution under laws designed to prevent contamination of Japanese culture. Your medical practice provides legitimate cover for research activities while enabling practical application of Western anatomical knowledge that challenges traditional Chinese medical theories, creating opportunities to test foreign concepts while maintaining respectable professional identity. The dissection work that you conduct in secret violates Buddhist prohibitions and government regulations, while providing direct observation of human anatomy that confirms European medical knowledge and reveals errors in classical texts that have guided Japanese medicine for centuries. Your translation projects involve converting Dutch scientific works into Japanese, while developing new vocabulary for concepts that have no equivalent in traditional language, creating linguistic innovations that will influence Japanese intellectual development for generations. The correspondence that you maintain with other Rangaku scholars creates networks of scientific communication that span the country, while providing access to international knowledge through the limited Dutch presence at Nagasaki and Chinese commercial contacts. Your students include young samurai and physicians who seek practical knowledge that can improve medical treatment and technological capabilities despite risks associated with studying prohibited subjects that government considers politically dangerous. The experiments that you conduct in natural philosophy test Europeans' scientific theories using available materials and equipment. demonstrating universal validity of physical laws, while developing practical applications that could benefit Japanese society. Your involvement in map-making projects creates geographic knowledge that challenges official ignorance about international relations, while providing strategic information that could influence government policies if political circumstances permit greater openness. The botanical research that you pursue includes study of foreign plants that could improve Japanese agriculture and medicine while developing classification systems that integrate traditional knowledge with European scientific methods and international standards. Your mechanical studies investigate Western technological innovations that could enhance Japanese manufacturing and transportation, while adapting foreign techniques to local materials and cultural requirements that shape practical applications. The astronomical observations that you make using imported instruments provide data that confirms European understanding of celestial mechanics, while challenging traditional cosmological concepts that support existing political and religious authority structures. Your philosophical inquiries explore Western concepts of natural law, individual rights, and scientific method that offer alternatives to Confucian political theory and Buddhist metaphysics that justify current social organization and governmental authority. The medical innovations that you develop combine European anatomical knowledge with traditional healing techniques, creating hybrid treatments that improve patient outcomes while demonstrating practical value of foreign learning and international knowledge. Your teaching methods emphasize empirical observation and experimental verification over reliance on classical authority, introducing scientific approaches that challenge educational traditions based on memorization and acceptance of established texts without question. The political implications of your research become increasingly apparent as Western knowledge reveals the sophistication of foreign societies and the limitations of isolation policies that have prevented Japanese access to international developments and technological advances. Your awareness of international political developments through Dutch sources provides understanding of global conflicts, technological advances, and social changes that demonstrate Japan's increasing vulnerability to external pressures and military threats. The technological applications that you develop from foreign knowledge include improvements in mining, manufacturing, and military equipment that could enhance Japanese capabilities, while demonstrating practical benefits of international learning and scientific education. Your publication activities involve creating Japanese language works that make Western knowledge accessible to broader audiences, while avoiding political content that might trigger government censorship or persecution of readers and distributors. This scholarly existence represents the intellectual curiosity and scientific spirit that survive despite political restrictions, demonstrating how knowledge transcends cultural boundaries, while creating pressure for social change that will eventually transform Japanese society. The floating world in the bustling entertainment districts of Edo. A new cultural phenomenon emerges that captures the spirit of urban life during the peaceful Tokugawa era, Ukiyo, the floating world, where pleasure, art, and commerce combine. to create experiences that transcend the rigid social constraints governing respectable society. You are Hishikawa Morinobu, an artist specializing in ukiyo-e prints that capture scenes from this floating world, creating images that document and celebrate urban culture, while developing new artistic techniques that make art accessible to common people rather than limiting aesthetic experience to wealthy elites. Your workshop in Edo's Artisan Quarter produces woodblock prints that require collaboration between artists, carvers, printers, and publishers, creating a commercial art industry that serves popular demand while maintaining high standards of craftsmanship and artistic innovation. The subjects that you depict include kabuki actors, courtesans, sumo wrestlers, and urban scenes that appeal to merchant and artisan customers who seek art that reflects their own interests and experiences rather than classical themes preferred by aristocratic patrons. Your artistic techniques involve developing new methods for color printing, figure composition, and narrative illustration that create distinctively Japanese aesthetic approaches while adapting influences from Chinese art and European perspective techniques. Available through limited contact. The publishing arrangements that support your work include relationships with commercial publishers who finance print productions, while marketing finished works to customers throughout Edo and other major cities, creating art markets that operate independently of traditional patronage systems. Your apprentices include young artists who learn printmaking techniques, while developing individual styles that will contribute to ongoing innovation in popular art forms that serve expanding urban audiences, seeking entertainment and aesthetic experience. The collaborative nature of ukiyo-e production requires coordination between multiple specialists whose skills combine to create finished prints. Artists who design images, carvers who cut printing blocks, and printers who apply colors and produce final works. Your involvement in kabuki theater includes designing promotional materials, costume patterns, and scenic backgrounds that support dramatic performances while creating visual arts that celebrate popular entertainment and urban culture. The seasonal prints that you produce include cherry blossom viewing scenes, summer festivals, autumn moon viewing, and winter snow scenes that capture the cyclical pleasures of urban life while appealing to customers who appreciate aesthetic documentation of cultural activities. Your portrait work includes images of famous courtesans, popular actors, and cultural celebrities who embody the glamour and sophistication of floating world entertainment while providing role models for urban fashion and lifestyle choices. The landscape prints that you create combine artistic vision with geographic documentation, producing images that serve both aesthetic and practical purposes for customers interested in travel destinations and scenic beauty throughout Japan. Your technical innovations include experiments with color gradation, perspective effects, and printing techniques that enhance visual impact while reducing production costs, making art more affordable while maintaining quality standards that distinguish professional work. The cultural impact of your work extends beyond art into fashion, interior design, power, and social behavior as your images influence popular taste and provide visual models for urban lifestyle and cultural participation. Among merchant and artisan classes, your business relationships include partnerships with silk merchants, kimono designers, and other artisans who use your designs in commercial products, creating integrated marketing systems that promote floating world culture through multiple media and commercial applications. The export potential of your prints creates opportunities for international trade despite isolation policies, as Dutch merchants purchase ukiyo works for European markets where Japanese art influences artistic development and cultural taste among foreign audiences. Your documentation of contemporary life provides historical records of Edo period culture that preserve information about clothing, architecture, social customs, and entertainment practices that might otherwise be lost to future generations, and historical research. The artistic schools that develop from your work include students who establish independent studios while maintaining stylistic traditions, preserve your innovations while adapting techniques to serve changing popular tastes and commercial demands. Your influence on later artistic development includes contributions to design principles, printing techniques, and aesthetic concepts that will influence Japanese art for centuries, while providing foundations for international recognition of Japanese cultural achievements. This floating world artistic career demonstrates how commercial urban culture creates new opportunities for creative expression while challenging traditional boundaries between high and popular art through innovative techniques and expanded audiences that transform cultural production. The rural rebellion, beneath the surface tranquility of Tokugawa peace. Rural communities periodically experience uprisings that reveal tensions between agricultural productivity and taxation demands, demonstrating how successful governance requires constant negotiation between government revenue needs and farming community survival. Shio Haihachiro, a samurai administrator in Osaka whose investigation of rural conditions has revealed systematic exploitation of farming communities that threatens both agricultural sustainability and social stability, forcing you to choose between loyalty to government and justice for oppressed people. Your official duties include inspecting village records, mediating disputes, and reporting on local conditions to domain authorities who make policy decisions based on second-hand information that often misrepresents rural realities and underestimates the desperation of farming families. The evidence that you gather during rural visits documents widespread corruption among local officials, excessive taxation that threatens family survival, and administrative practices that benefit government revenue, while destroying agricultural communities and traditional social relationships. Your interviews with farming families reveal the human cost of policies that extract maximum revenue from rural production. Children sold into servitude, elderly family members abandoned, and productive land abandoned because tax demands. exceed agricultural capacity and family resources. The financial records that you examine show systematic transfer, put up wealth from rural producers to urban consumers through tax policies, commercial regulations, and currency manipulations that impoverish agricultural regions while supporting urban prosperity and governmental operations. Your attempts to report these conditions through official channels encounter bureaucratic resistance from administrators, whose careers depend on maintaining revenue flows regardless of social consequences or long-term sustainability of current policies that prioritize immediate income over agricultural stability. The moral crisis that develops from witnessing systematic oppression while serving the governmental system responsible for these conditions forces you to question fundamental assumptions about duty, loyalty, and justice that have guided your career and social identity. Your study of Confucian political philosophy seeks guidance for resolving conflicts between administrative duty and moral responsibility, finding theoretical support for resistance to unjust authority while recognizing practical consequences of opposing established government and social order. The network of sympathetic officials that you contact includes other administrators who share your concerns about current policies, but lack authority or courage to challenge systematic practices that serve powerful interests while destroying vulnerable communities. Your communication with rural leaders provides information about planned protests and potential uprisings, while creating opportunities for peaceful resolution of conflicts through policy changes that address legitimate grievances before they escalate into violence and governmental repression. The philosophical justification that you develop for resistance draws on traditional concepts of righteous governance, while challenging political practices that violate moral principles, supposedly governing just administration and benevolent rule of virtuous officials. Your decision to support rural rebellion requires abandoning career, social status, and family security while accepting responsibility for consequences that may include executions, exile, or disgrace that affects relatives and associates who depend on your success. The organizing activities that you undertake include coordination between multiple villages, development of political platforms that address specific grievances, and creation of communication systems that enable coordinated action across regional boundaries and administrative divisions. Your leadership of the uprising involves balancing competing objectives, achieving meaningful policy changes, protecting participants from government retaliation, and maintaining moral authority that distinguishes righteous resistance from criminal rebellion or selfish ambition. The military aspects of rural rebellion require strategic planning that recognizes superior government resources while utilizing advantages of local knowledge, popular support, and moral authority that can influence political outcomes and public opinion. Your awareness of historical precedents for successful resistance provides models for organizing opposition while avoiding tactical mistakes that have led to failure of previous uprisings and severe punishment for participants and their families. The negotiation attempts that you pursue with government. Representatives seek compromise solutions that address rural grievances while preserving political stability and administrative continuity. Exploring alternatives to violent confrontation that could destroy communities. The failure of peaceful reform efforts leads to armed uprising that demonstrates both the desperation of rural conditions and the limitations of individual conscience. In confronting systematic oppression supported by superior military force and political authority, this rebellion leadership role demonstrates how individual conscience can challenge systematic injustice while illustrating the personal costs and political limitations that affect efforts to reform oppressive governmental practices. Through popular resistance and moral authority, the scholar's dilemma in the intellectual climate of late Edo period Japan. You are Sakamoto Ryoma, a lower-ranking samurai from Tosa domain, whose exposure to Western learning and growing awareness of international pressures has convinced you that Japan must abandon isolation policies or face the same fate as China in its conflicts. With European powers, your education at a Dutch learning academy in Nagasaki has provided access to information about global political developments that reveals Japan's vulnerability to technological and military forces that isolation policies cannot indefinitely resist, creating intellectual pressures for fundamental political change. The maps and books that you study in secret document the expansion of European colonial empires throughout Asia, demonstrating how technological advantages enable smaller Western populations to dominate larger Asian societies. Through superior military and industrial capabilities that traditional societies cannot match. Your understanding of international trade reveals how isolation has prevented Japan from participating in commercial relationships that could provide access to advanced technologies while limiting economic development that might enhance national strength and international competitiveness. The scientific knowledge that you acquire through translated Western texts demonstrates gaps between Japanese and international understanding of natural phenomena, suggesting that intellectual isolation may create vulnerabilities in multiple areas of knowledge and practical application. Your contacts with other reform-minded intellectuals create networks of discussion and planning that explore alternatives to current political systems while recognizing enormous challenges involved in peaceful transformation of established governmental and social institutions. The political philosophy that you develop combines traditional Japanese concepts of loyalty and duty with Western ideas about individual rights and representative government, seeking synthesis that could guide transition to more open and flexible political arrangements. Your analysis of China's defeats in the Opium Wars provides sobering examples of what happens when traditional Asian societies confront Western military technology without adequate preparation, demonstrating urgent need for Japanese military and political modernization. The travel experiences that expose you to conditions in other domains reveal regional variations in administrative effectiveness and economic development, while providing comparative perspective on political alternatives that might serve Japanese interests more effectively than current centralized control. Your involvement in domain politics includes attempts to influence policy discussions through written proposals and informal conversations that promote understanding of international pressures, while advocating for gradual adaptation rather than continued, inflexible resistance to change. The assassination attempts that target reform demonstrate the dangers faced by intellectuals who challenge established policies, creating climate of fear that limits open discussion while driving reform movements underground, where they may become more radical and violent. Your correspondence with foreign observers provides additional information about international perspectives on Japan, while creating relationships that could facilitate peaceful transition to more open policies if political circumstances permit diplomatic rather than military resolution of international pressures. The economic analysis that you conduct reveals how isolation has limited Japanese technological development and commercial opportunities, while protecting traditional industries and social relationships that might not survive international competition, but have provided stability for generations. Your philosophical studies explore tensions between individual conscience and social duty when existing institutions no longer serve their intended purposes, seeking guidance for personal and political decisions that balance competing moral obligations and practical necessities. The educational reforms that you propose include expansion of scientific and technical training that could prepare Japanese society for international engagement, while preserving cultural values that distinguish Japanese civilization from foreign influences and materialistic concerns. Your political activism involves collaboration with other domains that share concerns about current policies, while developing alternative approaches that could provide peaceful transition to more effective governmental arrangements, without destroying beneficial traditional institutions. The military analysis that you pursue includes study of Western warfare techniques and organizational methods that reveal scope of changes required for effective national defense in an international environment dominated by technologically advanced powers with imperial ambitions. Your vision of Japanese modernization emphasizes selective adoption of Western techniques while preserving essential cultural values, providing intellectual framework for reforms that enable rapid development without complete abandonment of traditional identity and social organization. The students who study under your guidance include future leaders of governmental reform movements who will implement political and social changes that transform Japan into a modern nation-state, capable of competing with Western powers on equal terms. Your writings on political philosophy and international relations provide intellectual foundations for reform movements, while documenting the thought processes that lead individual Japanese to question traditional policies and seek alternative approaches to national survival. The networks of reform-minded samurai that you help organize create political infrastructure for systematic change while maintaining secrecy. necessary to avoid government persecution and social ostracism that affects families and associates of political dissidents. Your assassination in 1867 transforms you into martyr for reform movements, while demonstrating both the dangers faced by political innovators and the determination of traditional forces to preserve existing systems despite mounting evidence of their inadequacy. This scholarly reform activity demonstrates how intellectual understanding can create pressure for political change, while illustrating personal risks and practical difficulties involved in challenging established policies that have provided stability, but may no longer ensure survival in changing international circumstances. The foreign pressure by the 1850s, the isolation that has protected Japan for over 2 centuries, faces unprecedented challenges as Western powers with advanced naval technology and imperial ambitions force unwanted contact that threatens to destroy the carefully constructed political and social systems that define Edo period civilization. You are Abe Masahiro, senior counselor to the Tokugawa shogun, responsible for developing responses to foreign demands for trade, relationships, and diplomatic recognition that could undermine the isolation policies fundamental to existing governmental authority and social organization. The arrival of Commodore Perry's black ships in 1853 creates immediate crises that reveals Japan's military vulnerability while forcing urgent decisions about political changes that could affect every aspect of traditional society and governmental practice for generations. Your analysis of American demands for trade agreements and diplomatic relations reveals how international pressures will inevitably require choices between military resistance that Japan cannot sustain and political accommodations that could destabilize existing institutions and social hierarchy. The technological demonstrations provided by American naval forces make clear that Japanese military capabilities are inadequate for resisting foreign pressure, while highlighting the scope of changes required for effective national defense in the modern international environment. Your consultations with domain lords reveal widespread disagreement about appropriate responses to foreign demands, creating political divisions that weaken governmental authority while complicating efforts to develop coherent national policies that balance competing interests and regional concerns. The intelligence reports that you receive about Chinese defeats in conflicts with European powers provide sobering examples of military and political consequences that await Asian societies unable to adapt effectively to international pressures and technological challenges. Your negotiations with foreign representatives require developing new diplomatic protocols and legal frameworks for international relationships that have no precedent in Japanese political tradition, while protecting essential national interests and governmental legitimacy. The domestic political pressures that result from foreign contact include demands for military preparation, calls for continued isolation, and proposals for gradual accommodation that reflect different assessments of costs and benefits associated with various policy alternatives. Your military advisors provide assessments of defensive capabilities that reveal inadequacies in fortifications, weapons, training, and organizational structures that would need massive investment and fundamental reforms to achieve effectiveness against Western naval and military technology. The economic analysis that you commission demonstrates how international trade could provide access to advanced technologies and expanded markets, while threatening traditional industries and social relationships that depend on current commercial arrangements and governmental protection. Your study of international law reveals legal concepts and diplomatic practices that govern relationships between nations, while providing frameworks for agreements that could protect Japanese interests within international systems dominated by Western powers and commercial principles. The educational initiatives that you support include expansion of technical and scientific training that could prepare Japanese society for international engagement, while developing human resources needed for military and economic modernization programs. Your political strategy involves balancing competing domestic pressures while managing international negotiations that seek minimal accommodation necessary to avoid military conflict while preserving maximum governmental authority and social stability during transitional period. The administrative reforms that you implement include creation of new governmental departments responsible for foreign affairs, military preparation, and technological development that require expertise and organizational approaches unknown in traditional political practice. Your personal correspondence reveals the psychological pressures experienced by leaders responsible for decisions that could determine national survival while affecting the future of political and social institutions that have provided stability for over 2 centuries. The historical precedents that you study include examples of successful and unsuccessful adaptations to foreign pressure, while seeking guidance for decisions that balance immediate survival needs with long-term cultural and political preservation objectives. The compromise policies that you develop include limited trade concessions and diplomatic recognition that satisfy minimal foreign demands, while preserving essential features of isolation that protect domestic stability and traditional governmental authority from excessive foreign influence. This crisis management role demonstrates how external pressures can force rapid political change, while illustrating the complex challenges faced by traditional societies confronting international systems that operate according to different principles and possess superior technological capabilities. The Meiji Restoration prelude as the 1860s progressed. The political crisis created by foreign pressure deepens into systematic challenges to Tokugawa authority that will eventually result in governmental collapse and revolutionary transformation of Japanese society under the slogan, "Revere the Emperor, expel the barbarians." You are Yoshida Shine, a young samurai intellectual whose study of Western learning has convinced you that Japan must undergo fundamental political and social transformation to survive in an international environment dominated by technologically advanced powers with imperial ambitions and commercial interests. Your educational background includes both traditional Confucian learning and exposure to Western scientific and political concepts that provide comparative perspective on governmental systems and social organization, while revealing alternatives to current political arrangements that might serve national interests more effectively. The private academy that you establish attracts young samurai from various domains who seek education that prepares them for leadership roles in transformed Japanese society, while developing political networks that could support systematic reform, pit efforts, and coordinate opposition to existing policies. Your political philosophy combines loyalty to imperial institution with advocacy for popular participation in government, seeking legitimacy for political change through traditional symbolism, while promoting modern governmental concepts that challenge existing authority structures and administrative practices. The writings that you produce include analysis of international relations, proposals for educational reform, and political manifestos that advocate revolutionary change, while providing intellectual frameworks for opposition to Tokugawa policies and administrative practices that have become inadequate. Your criticism of isolation policies emphasizes military vulnerability and economic stagnation that result from limiting international contact, while arguing that true national independence requires strength that can only be achieved through selective adaptation of foreign techniques and institutions. The network of disciples that you train includes future leaders of the Meiji government who will implement political and social reforms that transform Japan into a modern nation-state, capable of competing with Western powers on equal terms while preserving essential cultural identity. Your involvement in political conspiracies includes planning for armed resistance to Tokugawa authority, while developing strategies for governmental change that could provide peaceful transition to more effective political arrangements. If circumstances permit negotiated rather than violent transformation, the execution that ends your life in 1859 transforms you into a martyr for reform movements, while providing symbolic inspiration for political activities that will eventually achieve the revolutionary changes that you advocated, but did not live to see implemented. Your intellectual legacy includes educational methods, political concepts, an inspirational example that influenced the generation of leaders responsible for Meiji reforms, while demonstrating how individual thought and teaching can affect historical development and social transformation. The students who continue your work include key figures in the overthrow of Tokugawa government, an establishment of imperial restoration that begins Japan's transformation into a modern industrial and military power, capable of international competition and regional influence. Your vision of Japanese modernization emphasizes selective adoption of Western techniques while preserving essential cultural values, providing intellectual framework for reforms that enable rapid development without complete abandonment of traditional identity and social organization. The political movement that emerges from your teaching contributes to growing opposition to Tokugawa policies while developing alternative governmental concepts that combine traditional legitimacy with modern administrative effectiveness and international competitiveness. Your analysis of international relations demonstrates understanding of global political and economic systems that will guide Japanese diplomatic and military strategy. During the crucial decades of modernization and imperial expansion that follow governmental transformation, the educational reforms that you propose include emphasis on practical knowledge, scientific training, and international awareness that prepares students for leadership in transformed society, while maintaining cultural foundations that provide stability during periods of rapid change. Your martyrdom provides powerful symbol for reform movements, while demonstrating both the personal costs of political activism and the inspirational power of individual sacrifice for principles that transcend immediate personal interests and family obligations. This intellectual revolution demonstrates how ideas can challenge established political systems while providing foundations for social transformation that enables successful adaptation to changing international circumstances and technological developments that threaten traditional societies. Epilogue: the end of an era. The Edo period that ends in 1868 represents one of history's most successful experiments in social engineering, creating unprecedented urban prosperity, cultural flowering, and political stability through comprehensive control of foreign contact and systematic management of domestic social relationships for over 2.5 centuries. The isolation policies that defined this era demonstrate both the possibilities and limitations of attempted cultural autonomy in an increasingly interconnected world, showing how political systems can preserve traditional values, access to innovations that might enhance national capabilities but threaten social stability. The social hierarchy that provided stability throughout the period reveals tensions between official status and economic reality, as merchant wealth challenges samurai privilege, while governmental authority depends on administrative competence rather than military prowess or inherited status. The cultural achievements that flourish during 2.5 centuries of peace include artistic innovations, literary developments, and intellectual advances that demonstrate human creativity within political constraints while contributing to distinctive national identity that survives political transformation. The economic development that supports urban growth and rural prosperity shows how political stability enables commercial expansion and technological improvement, while creating wealth that supports cultural activities and social welfare programs that benefit multiple social classes. The administrative innovations that manage complex governmental systems provide models for effective bureaucracy, while demonstrating how traditional institutions can adapt to serve changing social needs without abandoning essential principles or losing political legitimacy. The educational expansion that increases literacy and cultural sophistication prepares Japanese society for rapid modernization, while preserving knowledge and values that provide continuity during periods of revolutionary change and social transformation. the international pressures that eventually force political transformation reveal how isolation policies that once protected cultural autonomy become vulnerabilities when technological development creates military and economic disadvantages that threaten national survival. The political crisis that destroys Tokugawa authority demonstrates how external challenges can overwhelm domestic stability while creating opportunities for revolutionary change that enables adaptation to new international circumstances and technological requirements. The Meiji Restoration that follows represents successful transformation of traditional society into modern nation-state through systematic adoption of foreign techniques, while preserving cultural identity and governmental legitimacy that maintains social cohesion during rapid change. The legacy of Edo period Japan includes institutional innovations, cultural achievements, and social experiments that influence subsequent historical development while providing examples of alternative approaches to modernization and international relations. The lessons of this era include understanding of relationships between cultural preservation and technological adaptation, recognition of costs and benefits associated with international isolation, and appreciation for complexity of political and social change in traditional societies. The individuals whose lives illustrate different aspects of Edo period experience demonstrate how personal choices and social circumstances interact to create historical outcomes, while revealing human capacity for adaptation, creativity, and survival under challenging conditions. The transformation that begins in 1868 represents both ending and beginning, conclusion of successful isolation experiment, and commencement of rapid modernization that will make Japan a major international power within decades of opening to foreign contact. This remarkable historical period shows how societies can achieve prosperity and cultural development through comprehensive social control, while illustrating ultimate impossibility of permanent isolation in a world where technological and political changes create pressures that force adaptation or risk destruction, demonstrating the eternal tension between cultural preservation and practical survival that faces all traditional societies, confronting modern international systems.